Hello everyone, we are starting a new program, Sociology Guided Answer Writing. The major structure will be like we will have a topic overview. Here we will give you a small concept explanation and then we will discuss all the sociological jargons, terms, concepts which are given in that particular topic. And then we will move on to 2 questions and we will tackle the answer framework of that question. Now, before that, in this session, what we are going to do today is we are going to discuss the general answer writing tips. This is because every student who takes up sociology faces these problems of answer writing. First of all, you should know that we have around 3 hours for answer writing. Why have I said around? This is because you are not going to use the entire 3 hours for answer writing. You have to leave some time for revision also, or to go through all the questions and answers so that you don't miss out anything or you have not made any major mistakes. That is why it is important to manage time in the examination. Manage time means you decide how much time you are going to devote to each question and then there should be some time left so that you can revise also. The maximum marks of each paper is 250 marks. Now let's see how these marks is distributed. This is the mains paper structure. So here we are talking about paper 1. Okay. Now we have 8 questions. Now you do not have to attempt all the 8 questions, but you should keep in mind that question number 1 and question number 5 both are compulsory. Now these questions each have 5 parts. Okay. So you have to attempt all these questions. That means 10 questions are compulsory. You have to attempt these questions anyhow. Okay. Then after that you have to attempt 1 question from section A and 1 question from section B. So once again, question number 1 is compulsory, question number 5 is compulsory, any 1 question from section A, any 1 question from section B, and finally the last or the 5th question from any section. So in total you have to do how many questions? You have to do 5 questions. But 5 questions does not mean only 5 questions. Why? Because each question has subparts. So when we consider the compulsory questions, we have 10 subparts. When we consider 1 question from section A, we have 3 subparts. When we consider question from section B, again 3, and final question 3. So how many questions do we have to do in total? 19 questions. So 19 questions you have to do in 3 hours. That's a huge amount of questions. So how are you going to do it? This is the question, this is the dilemma that everyone faces. So you cannot just write question directly in the examination hall. You have to have practice. Why? Because if you do that, you will gain a leverage. If you do not practice, you will end up writing worst answers or bad answers, or probably you will not be able to complete the paper. This is a very crucial time, and that is why you have to understand the importance of answer writing. It is not about revision. It's about managing time. Revision can be done without answer writing also. But if you have to manage time in the examination hall, then you have to have practice previously. Now, this is how the QA booklet looks. QA means question answer booklet. This is how you will be getting the questions in the examination hall. So, first one, let's say there are two types of questions. Here you will see, you will have questions of 10 marks or questions of 20 marks. These two kinds of questions you will be getting. So this is, let's say this is a 10 marker question and this is a 20 marker question. Some question is written and you have 2 pages. So 10 marks questions, 2 pages, you have to write it in 150 words. Similarly, 20 marks questions, you have been given 4 pages, you have to write it in 250 words. So how do you manage time? Now make sure that every page has at least 2 paragraphs. Please do not write the entire content in one paragraph, one lengthy paragraph. It does not look appealing to the examiner. Okay. So what you are going to do here is, you are going to divide the page into 2 parts and you can write it paragraph wise. Now each paragraph can be written in the form of points also, but do not write an essay for the entire answer. No, please break up the answer into paragraphs. That is very much important of paras. Now one thing that you will see here, it is that one page usually it contains 100 words. How? Because on an average an aspirant writes 5 words in one line and you write approximately 20 lines in one page. So you have around 100 words that you write in one page. So this should be your target, so that in the examination hall you do not end up counting words. Okay, this is going to be a huge waste of time. So you know in your mind that you have 100 words in one page. So if it is 150 words, you are going to write 1.5 page. If it is 250 words, you are going to write 2.5 page, or probably 3 pages also will do for 20 marks. Now let's discuss a sample question from a 10 marker which has been asked previously. Okay. Now the question 1, it is of 10 marks and you have to answer it in 150 words. So what is the question? Let's see. The question is, sociology emerged in Europe and flourished to begin with on social reformist orientation in the USA. So first of all, you have to divide the question. You have to try to understand what this question means. So the first part will be sociology emerged in Europe. Second will be it flourished to begin with, right? So it emerged and then it flourished. And what was the agenda? The agenda was social reformist. And the final one is in the USA. Now here there is a word written comment. What does comment mean? Comment it means you have to give your personal opinion, and this personal opinion should not be biased. So you have to write the pros and cons and end it on a neutral note. So let's say this is your QA booklet. This is your QA booklet. Now because it is a 150 word answer or question, so here you have to write a very short intro or start writing directly. So here you write directly or give a very short intro, and then you start writing the body and finally the conclusion. So how do we write this question? This question we can start with this kind of framework. For example, in the introduction we can start with directly with the question, like we can write how sociology emerged in Europe. Now in the body 1 we are going to write for the statement. That means how did it flourish in USA with a reformist orientation. What do you understand by reformist? You have heard about social reforms. It means bringing about certain changes in society in order to help society develop positively, or to make sure certain evils are not present in society or oppression is not present in society. That is a social reformist orientation. Now in the body 2 you are going to write against the statement, this very statement, and finally you are going to end it with a neutral stance. You have to write about emergence, you have to write about flourishing, and then you have to make sure that these 2 points are balanced. You do not tilt your answer in any one particular stance. Now, when we look at question number 2, this will be a 20 marker question from the previous years. This question is of 20 marks and you have to write it in 250 words. Although this is not mentioned, but we assume that it is around 250 to 300 words and you do not cross the word limit. So, what is this question? This question is, emergence of sociology is an outcome of modernity and social change in Europe. Discuss. Now, discuss means you simply have to narrate all the events. It is not about taking any particular stance. So, here also if you look at the question paper QA booklet, you will see that you will have, let's say, 3 pages in which you are going to write the answer. So, how are you going to write the answer? You can start with an introduction because it is a 250 marks question. So, you give an introduction, then body 1, body 2, body 3, or either you can write a conclusion, or here you can write something for body 4 also, but the conclusion, it should be smaller, right? Now, here we have divided the question into few parts. First one is emergence of sociology, then outcome of modernity, social change in Europe. So, how are you going to write the answer? In the introduction, we are going to define sociology, and then we have to write a few lines on thinkers. For example, we write about Comte, Spencer, Marx, all the earliest thinkers or the pioneers of sociology who were responsible for emergence of sociology. Then we define modernity. Make sure that in a 250 word answer, you define all the major terms which are given in the question. So, define modernity and relate it with the emergence of sociology. Then in body 2, you can define social change. What do you understand by social change? Then you define how sociology emerged and relate it with social change. Now, there are 2 more forces also. First one is the intellectual forces or the forces related to Renaissance, and second one is the social forces or social changes which took place in society related to social order, and then you finally end it with a summary. Now, this summary will be again a narration or a short form, a précis kind of thing for the answer. So, this will be your 20 marker question. Now, there are a few keywords which we are going to explain, not today but in every day. Whenever we are doing the questions, we are going to explain all the keywords, and these keywords are, we are going to give some examples. For example, we have elucidate, we have explain, we have comment, we have examine, we have critically examine, we have discuss, we have analyze, illustrate, simplify, elaborate, argue, review, justify. These are some of the keywords which the examiner uses in the question paper, the meanings of which should be on your tips. Now, some of the do's and don'ts while answer writing, please write within the word limit. Make sure that your handwriting is legible. That means one can read your handwriting easily, make out the different words and alphabets. Remember definitions because it will be very handy in answer writing. You should also remember thinkers and theories. Include certain current affairs, data, facts wherever possible. And most importantly, please leave enough space between 2 lines. Now, what are the don'ts that you do not have to do? Please don't write on the margins. That is for evaluation. That is for the examiner. Please do not write in red or green ink, that is for the examiner. Don't write the entire answer in diagrams. No, this is a strict no. And don't write in long paragraphs. Please try to write in short paragraphs and shorter sentences. Don't cut too much, don't strike too much, it will be very dirty. And don't mismanage time. Please make sure that you have enough time to attempt all the questions, plus you have enough time to go through them one last time before submitting your answer sheet. So, if you have any queries, you can contact us at ConvertIS or at Deciphering Sociology, and we hope you are going to love this program of ours and you will make sure that you will be sincere and write answers regularly, because writing answers regularly will fetch you a good sociology score. Thank you so much.